for sex with a fee with women available on the brothel website. They contacted a phone number associated with the brothel website ending in 5147, known as the brothel phone. All communications about appointments like time, duration, location, price, type of sexual service, stage name of women engaging in sexual service, and other logistics generally occurred via text message exchange with the brothel phone and the interested sex buyer. Federal search warrant was executed on the brothel phone. Pursuant to that search warrant, sex buyers were identified from the analysis of the brothel phone. Phone number ending in 8176 was identified. Law enforcement database for that phone, for this phone number revealed that the subscriber of the phone during that time period was Mr. Zhu, date of birth 1971. A subpoena sent to the subscriber for information for this phone number revealed that this Zhu was the subscriber and user of the phone. He was listed as having a son named Boya Zhu, date of birth 1990, year of birth 97, living at this address. In his 2016 passport application, Boya Zhu listed his year of birth is 1997, and this phone number, that is the number that was used to contact the brothel phone. I reviewed the communications between Boya Zhu and the brothel phone. Those conversations involve agreements to pay for commercial sex, as well as scheduling of the Commercial Sex Act. One such example of this conversation occurred on October 7th, 2023, and is summarized below. Zhu's phone contacts the brothel, asks availabilities at 5. Brothel phone replies Amy at 5, Sarah at 5:15, Ji Woo at 6:15. Boya's phone replies back, Amy, 1 hour please. The brothel phone asks Sarah or Ji Woo or Amy. There's no discount for BB. If you get caught making direct deals with girls, we won't accept any more appointments. If you go into the GFE and upgrade to BB, please pay first. Brothel phone tells them to pick one of the above. Zhu's phone replies, the brothel phone confirms GFE 1 hour, 350. Zhu's phone replies back, yes. Brothel phone confirms 5 p.m. Amy, GFE, $350, 90 Foster Street, Cambridge, Mass. Say thanks. Zhu replies back later on in the lobby. They say okay, please wait. Brothel phone directs him to room 435. They say enjoy. Thank you for waiting. Zhu's phone says thank you. Based on the above, coupled with my training and experience and familiarity with his investigation, I believe that Boya Zhu agreed with another, that is the user of the brothel phone, to engage in commercial sex with an unidentified female with the stage name of Amy for 60 minutes with a price of $350. Based upon the above, I'm aware that the text messages that Zhu indicated that he was present at the brothel at approximately 4:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pulled surveillance footage from this date in approximate time from the publicly accessible 4th floor of the 90 Foster Street apartment building. I observed a male enter unit 435 at approximately 4:56 p.m. and exit 435 at approximately 5:49, consistent with the amount of time that Zhu paid for commercial sex. I reviewed a photograph on file at the Mass R&B for Boya Zhu. God bless you. And compared it to the surveillance footage that I reviewed, described above. The appearance of the person in the Boya Zhu R&B photograph is consistent with that of the person in the surveillance footage at that location. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that some of the abbreviations used in the text message exchange between Boya Zhu and the brothel phone are commonly used in the commercial sex trade. For example, GFE refers to girlfriend experience, provides a more intimate experience, and blurs the boundaries between a financial transaction and a romantic relationship, typically including any and all sex acts, including up to vaginal and oral intercourse. I'm aware that the term donation is often used to refer to a person paying a fee to engage in commercial sex. Based on the above text messages and surveillance video, I believe there's probable cause to believe that Boya Zhu did pay, agree to pay, or offer to pay another individual to engage in commercial sex. Boya Zhu made such agreements under multiple dates between January 1st of 23 and October 7th of that year. including but not limited to October 7th, 2023. These agreements were with at least one of the operators of the brothel phone and were agreements to engage in commercial sex with women advertised on the brothel website. The end of the report.
Based on the evidence presented today, I find there is sufficient evidence to establish probable cause to issue a criminal complaint. Mr. Zoe will receive a summons to appear in Cambridge District Court in a few weeks. And if he fails to appear, the court will issue a warrant for his arrest. Thank you. This hearing is ended.
user of the brothel phone to engage in commercial sex with an unknown female with the stage name of H.E. for 1 hour for the price of $340. Based upon the above, I'm aware that from text messages that Laava indicated he was present at the brothel phone at 5:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He was given a unit number, that's room 109 at 5:59. I pulled surveillance footage of this for this date in approximate time from the publicly accessible first floor at 90 Foster Street, apartment building in Cambridge. I observed a male enter room 109 at 5:59 p.m. and exit room 109 at approximately 6:53 p.m., consistent with the amount of time Laava paid for commercial sex. I reviewed a copy of the photograph on file at the Mass RMV for David Laava, compared it to surveillance footage that I reviewed described above. I believe that the Laava RMV photo and the surveillance footage appears to depict the same person. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that some of the abbreviations used in the above text message exchange between Laava and the brothel phone are commonly used in the commercial sex trade. For example, GFE refers to girlfriend experience, provides a more intimate experience and blurs the boundaries between a financial transaction and a romantic relationship, typically including any and all sex acts, including up to vaginal and oral intercourse. I'm aware that the term donation is often used to refer to a person paying a fee to engage in commercial sex. Based on the above text messages and surveillance video, I believe there's probable cause to believe that Laava did pay, agree to pay, or offer to pay another individual to engage in a commercial sex act. Laava made such agreements on multiple dates between January 1st and November 5th of 2023, including but not limited to August 10th and 11th, 2023, to engage in commercial sex acts on August 11th. These agreements were with at least one of the operators of the brothel phone and were agreements to engage in commercial sex with women advertised on the brothel website. That's the end of the report.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Clerk.
Good morning.
Mr. Laava is not present, and he apologizes for his decision to decline the invitation to be here or his obligation to be here. As you know, Madam Clerk, you do have a great deal of discretion here, and that discretion was actually in the Supreme Judicial Court case, Trustees of Boston University versus Clerk Magistrate. They upheld your discretion, and I would ask you to exercise your discretion on behalf of Mr. Laava. In this case, Madam Clerk, as you may be aware, it was investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office, and based on at least one website posting by the U.S. Attorney's Office, 2,800 contacts were obtained from Mr. Lee's phone. So of the 2,800 contacts, only 28 individuals are being accused formally of this offense, and the police, and this is no criticism of them, not at all, they have exercised their discretion and limited the applications for criminal complaint against only those people who had in excess of 400 text message type contacts with the so-called brothel. So not everybody is going to be exposed here criminally. Not everybody here is going to be prosecuted. Not everybody here is going to be penalized. So it's just a very small number of people that are at risk here. And my client is not one of the individuals, Madam Clerk, that anybody in the media is going to be interested in. He's a software engineer, doesn't hold any government clearances. He was, up until this, well, technically he's still married, but because of the allegations in this case, his marriage has fallen apart. He's in the process of getting divorced. He has done, and I've resolved a couple of these prostitution-type cases in the past. Usually what's required is an individual participate in the 4-hour prostitution prevention class. My client has already completed that class, and I have a copy of the certificate if you would like to see it, Madam Clerk.
Is he cause.
Okay. There is also a letter from his therapist. He's been in therapy bi-weekly since January 2024. And I have a letter that explains the therapist's interactions with Mr. Laava and provides the court with a little bit of a better understanding of perhaps why he made the decisions that he did. Would the court be interested in a letter from Ms. Vargas?
Again, counsel, I appreciate your zealous advocacy for your client. I told you at the beginning of this hearing, I was not inclined to hear testimony since your client was noticed to appear today and you failed to appear. I've extended some courtesy to you to make a few comments. If you would like that to become part of the record, which it may become part of the record, I believe that the probable cause is there to issue this complaint. I'd be happy to take that, but again, that's your call. I appreciate everything that you said about your client, and if you would like to say a little more on the record, you're welcome to. Out of all the aspects of my job, the discretion that I am afforded in show cause hearings to weed out cases that should not be in the criminal justice system is something that I am most honored and proud of. However, if there is probable cause in a case, I will not continue it, which is the beauty of show cause hearings. In some cases, being able to continue a hearing, but I will not continue it without the consent of the complainant and or a victim that is involved in the case. Mr. Prosecutor, would you be willing to leave this case open for a period of time?
No, we would not.
So I am finding probable cause in this case. Is there anything else you would like to say on the record?
I feel obligated to mention that he did 72 hours of volunteer work, and I don't really have anything else to add, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
You've always been very fair to me, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Based on the evidence presented today, I find that there is sufficient evidence to establish probable cause to issue a criminal complaint in this case. Counselor, your client needs to appear in Cambridge District Court in a few weeks. Do you wish that summons be sent to your address and your address only?
That would be perfect.
Okay. And you will advise him that if he does not appear on that date, a warrant will issue for his arrest.
I will do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you for your time.
This hearing is completed.
Docket number 2352, AC 2320. Council, approach, please.
Please. Counsel, sir.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Casey. I'm the Court Magistrate of the Cambridge District Court. The application for criminal complaint, docket number 2352 AC 2320, is brought by the Cambridge Police Department, a complaint against you, Mr. Marxu. Counsel, can you confirm for me that the accused address is still in Lincoln, Massachusetts?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not there is probable cause to issue a criminal complaint formally charging you with the criminal offense of 1 pound of sex for a fee, alleged to have occurred on August 16th of 2023 in the city of Cambridge. This hearing is not a trial to determine guilt or innocence. That will come later if a complaint issues today. The burden of proof is on the Cambridge Police Department to show me that there is a probable cause that a criminal offense was committed and that you committed it. Probable cause is a very low legal standard. Probable cause exists where the facts and circumstances presented are enough to warrant a prudent person to believe that the individual committed the offense. Since the burden of proof rests with the complainant, Cambridge Police Department, you are under no obligation to present any evidence or say anything during this hearing. So if you choose not to say anything, I would not hold that against you, as I'm sure your very able counsel has explained to you. Please note, however, that if you do choose to speak today, that you should understand these proceedings are being recorded, and there's a possibility that something that you say might be used against you at a later time. Either you show that you admitted something or you testify differently today than at trial. As for the process, I'm going to hear from the complainant first, and then I will hear from your attorney and or you. And I will give you the same opportunity to testify and present any evidence that you want me to hear. Last thing, neither party can interrupt each other during the course of the hearing. Each side will have a full and fair opportunity to present any relevant probable cause evidence that they want me to consider. At the conclusion of all the evidence, I will make a decision based on the facts that I hear. If I could swear everybody in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Complainant, I've read your application in its entirety, so please present.
Morning, Lieutenant Cabral from Cambridge Police. Read from a report written by Cambridge Police Detective Colazzo. From at least July 2020 until November 2023, I, in my capacity as a task force officer and other members of the Homeland Security Investigations, identified multiple residences operating as brothels in Cambridge and Watertown. These locations included, but were not limited to, 90 Fawcett Street in Cambridge, Mass. Units 109, 435, and 530. I'm aware that women were advertised on BostonTop10.com, which is the brothel website. When sex buyers were interested in engaging in sex for a fee with women available on the brothel website, they contacted a phone number associated with the brothel website, which ends in 5147, known as the brothel phone. All communications about appointments like time, duration, location, price, type of sexual service, stage name of the women engaging in sexual service, and other logistics generally occurred via text message exchange with the brothel phone and the interested sex buyer. A federal search warrant was executed on the brothel phone. Pursuant to that search warrant, sex buyers were identified from the analysis of the brothel phone. A phone number ending in 8161 was identified. A law enforcement database search for that phone number revealed the subscriber of this phone number during that time period was Key Zhu, date of birth, year of birth 1959. Zhu had a son listed as Marxu, date of birth, year of birth 1996. Marxu has listed a residential address in the RMV in Lincoln, Mass. An examination of the brothel phone revealed that Marxu texted his image and likeness to the brothel phone from this phone number in order to undergo the verification process, which would allow him to engage in commercial sex with women at the brothel locations. He also identified himself in text messages as Mark. A subpoena sent for the subscriber information for this phone number revealed Kizu, who I believe to be Mark's father, as the listed subscriber for this phone number. I have reviewed the communications between Marxu and the brothel phone. Those conversations include agreements to pay for commercial sex, as well as the scheduling of a commercial sex act. One such example of a conversation occurred on August 16th, 2023, and is summarized below. Zoo's phone texts the brothel phone, "Hi, does Rainbow have any availability tonight?" Brothel phone replies back, 8 p.m. available. Zoo's phone, "Perfect. Can I book her for 2 hours?" Brothel phone, "Donations for Candy or Rainbow, only GFE services, no BB services. Do not share with her that we are offering extra services." They give some prices for the services. It says, "Please pick one of the above. Thank you." The brothel phone confirms GFE 2 hours, $640. Zoo's phone says, "Is there anyone free tonight offering BB? If not, 2 hours with Rainbow is fine." Brothel replies back, 8 p.m. Ari offered BB. Zoo's phone says, "That's perfect. I'll do that, excuse me. 8 p.m. Ari, BB, 2 hours, $840, 90 Foster Street, Cambridge." Zoo's phone says, "Great, thank you." Later on, he says, "Hi, I just arrived at the front door." Brothel replies, "Okay, open." Zoo says, "Great, thanks." Brothel phone asks if he's in. Zoo phone replies back in. They said, "Okay, 1 minute." Direct him to room 435. Enjoy. Zoo says, "Great, thanks." Based on the above, coupled with my training and experience and familiarity with this investigation, I believe that Marxu agreed with another, that is the user of the brothel phone, to engage in commercial sex with an unidentified female with the stage name of Ari for 2 hours for the price of $840. Based on the above, I'm aware from the text messages that Marxu indicated he was present at the brothel at 7:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pulled surveillance footage from this date in approximate time from the publicly accessible 4th floor of 90 Foster Street apartment building in Cambridge. I observed the male enter Unit 435 at approximately 8:02 p.m. and exit Unit 435 at approximately 9:53, consistent with the amount of time that Marxu paid for commercial sex. I reviewed a copy of the photograph on file of the Mass RMV for Marxu, compared it to the surveillance footage that I reviewed described above. The appearance of the person in the Marxu RMV photograph is consistent with that of the person in the surveillance footage at the brothel location. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that some of the abbreviations used in the above text messages exchanged between Marxu and the brothel phone are commonly used in the commercial sex trade. For example, BB means bareback or sex without a condom. I'm aware that the term donation is often used to refer to a person paying a fee to engage in commercial sex. Based on the above text messages and surveillance video, I believe that there's probable cause to believe that Marxu did pay, agree to pay, or offer to pay another individual to engage in a commercial sex act. Marxu made such agreements on multiple dates between January 1st, 2022 and October of 2023, including but not limited to August 16th, 2023. These agreements were with at least one of the operators of the brothel phone and were agreements to engage in commercial sex with women advertised on the brothel website. It's the end of the report.
Counsel?
Thank you, Madam Magistrate. Stephen Goen representing the accused. As an initial matter, the detective or officer never identified this particular accused as being the person spoken about in the report. As a result, I would ask you either as a matter of a motion to dismiss and or a lack of probable cause that this particular accused, there hasn't been evidence that that's the person discussed in the report. I sat in on your prior hearings, and I know everybody's different. If you did find probable cause, I would ask you to hold this one in particular open. My client has 0.0 criminal record of any sort. He's 28 years old. He did proactively, on his own, no indicia or edict by the court, took a 8-hour prostitution course. What Cambridge and other cities are doing is needed and important, and I think any particular lessons of getting in front of this, taking this seriously, hiring an attorney at his own expense, I believe, it still is a misdemeanor charge, and for somebody with no background who has taken those affirmative steps, I think it is warranted to keep this open for a year, and if he stays out of trouble and/or does anything else that Madam Magistrate feels would be necessary and appropriate, would be a fair resolution of this matter.
Thank you. Would you like to put that on the record?
Please.
All right, can you show to the other side? Counselor, I'm denying your motion. I appreciate everything that you said. Is there anything else that you would like to tell me?
Not at this time.
If you sat in on the last, you heard the discretion I'm afforded in these hearings. I am most honored and proud of having. But unless I have consent from the complainant and/or victim in a case to continue a hearing, I cannot do that. Okay? I find probable cause for this complaint to issue, that there is sufficient evidence to establish probable cause. Your client will receive a summons to appear in a few weeks in Cambridge District Court in Lynchburg. Would you like the summons to go only to your office, or?
Would you be willing to ask the detective in this particular case?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a,
I'm sorry. Would you be willing to keep this open?
No, we would not.
thank you. You could send it directly to me.
Please understand that if you do not appear in court when you are summoned, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
This hearing is ended.
Docket number 2352, AC 2338. Docket number 2352, AC 2338. Madam Clerk, no answer.
Thank you. This application for criminal complaint, docket number 2352, AC 2338. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, let me, is that wrong? 2338. Yes. Is brought by the Cambridge Police, the complainant against Jason Hahn of Concord. Mr. Prosecutor, do I understand that there was a communication this morning with your office?
Last night, yes.
Okay. And communication was?
Mr. Hahn's attorney indicated that he was going to concede the probable cause.
Okay. So the accused has failed to appear. I understand that you received notice that they were not going to be appearing today. My office did not receive notice. So I am going to hear from you. I would like to hear, I've read the complaint application in its entirety, but I would like to hear from you.
Okay.
Do you swear that the information that you are going to testify to is true to the best of your knowledge and pertains upon the
Yes,
God?
yes, I do. Lieutenant Jared Cabral, Cambridge Police, reading from a Cambridge Police report written by Cambridge Police Detective Colazzo from at least July 2020 until November 23. In my capacity as a task force officer and other members of Homeland Security investigations identified multiple residences operating as brothels in Cambridge and Watertown. These locations included but were not limited to 90 Fawcett Street, Cambridge, Mass. Units 109, 435, and 530. I'm aware that women were advertised on BostonTop10.com, which is the brothel website. When buyers were interested in engaging in sex for a fee with women available on the brothel website, they contacted a phone number associated with the brothel website, which ends in 5147, known as the brothel phone. All communications about appointments like time, duration, location, price, type of sexual service, stage name of women engaging in sexual service, and other logistics generally occurred via text message exchange with the women, with the brothel phone and the interested sex buyer. Federal search warrant was executed on the brothel phone. Pursuant to that search warrant, sex buyers were identified from the analysis of the brothel phone. Phone number ending in 0198 is identified. A law enforcement database search for this phone number revealed that the user of this phone number during that time was Jason Hahn, year of birth 1995. This phone number was also linked to Hahn's passport application. Subscriber information for the phone number is listed to Jason Hahn of Concord, Mass. I reviewed the communications between Hahn and the brothel phone. Those conversations involve agreements to pay for commercial sex, as well as the scheduling of a commercial sex act. One example of such conversation occurred on August 10th, 23, and is summarized below. Hahn's phone text, who is available today? Brothel phone replies back, Sarah, Luca, H.E., and Candy. Hahn's phone replies, any chance H.E. is in Cambridge? Brothel phone says she is. I'm curious, Hahn's phone says, I'm curious, is H.E. available at 6:15 p.m. in Cambridge? Brothel phone asks for 1 hour, 6 p.m. available. Hahn's phone says, okay, I'll take it. Brothel phone says 6 p.m. H.E. GFE, 1 hour, 340. Hahn says yes. Skipping ahead. Brothel phone confirms the address of 90 Fawcett Street, Cambridge, Mass. Hahn says yes, I'll be there. He said thanks. The brothel phone says let me know at the side door. Hahn says okay. They ask how long. Hahn replies back, I'm here at the side door. Inside. Brothel phone says okay, room 109, enjoy. Hahn replied back, thanks. Based on the above, coupled with my training experience and familiarity with this investigation, I believe that Han agreed with another, that is, the user of the brothel phone, to engage in a commercial sex act with an unidentified female with the stage name of H.E. for 1 hour for the price of $340. Based on the above, I'm aware from the text message that Han indicated he was present at the brothel at approximately 5:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pulled surveillance footage for this date in approximate time from the publicly accessible first floor of the 90 Foster Street apartment building in Cambridge. I observed the male enter unit 109 at approximately 5:31 p.m. and exit room 109 at approximately 6:29 p.m., consistent with the amount of time that Han paid for commercial sex. I reviewed a copy of a photograph on file at the Mass RMV for Jason Han, compared it with the surveillance footage I reviewed described above. The appearance of that person in the Han RMV photograph is consistent with that of a person in the surveillance footage at the brothel location. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that from some of the abbreviations used in the text message above between Han and the brothel phone are commonly used in the commercial sex trade. For example, GFE refers to girlfriend experience and provides a more intimate experience and blurs the boundaries between a financial transaction and a romantic relationship, typically including any and all sex acts, including up to vaginal and oral intercourse. I'm aware that the term donation is often used to refer to a person paying a fee to engage in commercial sex. Based on the above text messages and surveillance video, I believe there is probable cause to believe that Han did pay, agree to pay, or offered to pay another individual to engage in a commercial sex act. Han made such agreements on multiple dates between January 1st, 2022 and November 5th, 2023, including but not limited to August 10th, 2023. These agreements were with at least one of the operatives of the brothel phone and were agreements to engage in commercial sex with women advertised on the brothel website. That's the end of the report.
Based on the evidence presented today, I find there is sufficient evidence to establish probable cause to issue a criminal complaint. The accused will receive a summons to appear in Cambridge District Court in a few weeks for arraignment, and if he fails to appear, a warrant will issue for his arrest. That's the end of this hearing. Thank you.
Counsel.
Docket number 2352AC 2338. Counsel, you already forward? Thank you. Madam Clerk, he has appeared.
Morning. My name is Sharon Casey. I'm the clerk magistrate of the Cambridge District Court, and I will be conducting this hearing. My apologies, there was some miscommunication with the prosecutor's office last night. I didn't see the communication, so I'm not sure what happened. Counsel, for the record.
I'm Attorney John Benson.
John Benson, okay,
Yes.
I see your notice of appearance.
Thank you.
My apologies for any miscommunication.
No problem. And Madam Clerk, I did send a submission ahead of time to your office. I just wanted to, and I also provided it to the police prosecutor by email. I just wanted to ensure that it was received.
Okay, so the prosecutor, I did not receive anything, but,
I do have an extra copy for you, Madam Clerk.
yes, it is. Is that something that you want on the record?
It is, yes.
Okay, and you provided a copy to the prosecutors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This application for criminal complaint, docket number 2352 AC 2338, is brought by the Cambridge Police Department, the complainant, against you, Mr. Jason Hahn of Concord, Mass. Counsel, can you confirm for me that the address that appears in the application is still the current address?
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you very much. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not there is probable cause to issue a criminal complaint, formally charging you with a criminal offense of 1 count of sex for a fee, alleged to have occurred on August 10th, 2023 in the city of Cambridge. This hearing is not a trial to determine guilt or innocence. That will come later if the complainant wishes. The burden of proof is on the Cambridge Police Department to show me that there is probable cause that a criminal offense was committed and that you committed it. Probable cause is a very low legal standard. Probable cause exists where the facts and circumstances presented are enough to warrant a prudent person to believe that the individual committed the offense. Since the burden of proof rests with the complainant, you are under no obligation to present any evidence or say anything during this hearing. So if you choose not to, I will not hold that against you, as I'm sure your very able counsel has already explained to you. Please note, however, that if you do choose to speak today, you should understand that these proceedings are being recorded, and anything that you say may be used against you at a later time. Either you show that you admitted something, or that you testified differently today than at trial. As for the process, I'm going to hear from the complainant first, then I will hear from your attorney, or you if you choose to speak, and I will give you the same opportunity to testify. However, any parties have any evidence they'd like me to consider, it must be shown to the other side. I believe that you presented both of us with a copy of the court.
In advance. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Last thing, neither party may interrupt each other during the course of this hearing. Each side will have a full and fair opportunity to present any relevant probable cause evidence that they want me to consider, and at the conclusion of all the evidence, I will make a decision based on the facts that I hear today. Before I begin, I'd like to swear in all the parties. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. I have read your application in its entirety, but please tell me about it.
Okay. Lieutenant Jared Cabral, Cambridge Police. Reading from a Cambridge Police report written by Detective Colazzo from at least July 2020 until November 23 in my capacity as a task force officer. And other members of the Homeland Security Investigations identified multiple residences operating as brothels in Cambridge and Watertown. Those locations included but were not limited to 90 Foster Street, Cambridge, Mass., units 109, 435, and 530. I'm aware that women were advertised on BostonTop10.com, the brothel website. When sex buyers were interested in engaging in sex for a fee with women available on the brothel website, they contacted a phone number associated with the brothel website ending in 5147, known as the brothel phone. The communications about appointments, like time, duration, location, price, type of sexual service, stage name of women engaging in sexual service, and other logistics generally occurred via text message exchange with the brothel phone and the interested sex buyer. A federal search warrant was executed on the brothel phone. Pursuant to that search warrant, sex buyers were identified from the analysis of the brothel phone. A phone number ending in 0198 was identified. A law enforcement database search for this phone number revealed that the user of this phone during that time period was Jason Hahn, year of birth 1995. This phone number was also linked to Hahn's passport application. Subscriber information for this phone number is listed to Jason Hahn Company. I've reviewed the communications between Hahn and the brothel phone. These conversations involve agreements to pay for commercial sex, as well as the scheduling of the Commercial Sex Act. One example of such conversations occurred on October 10th, 2023, and is summarized below. Hahn's phone texts the brothel phone, who is available today. Brothel phone replies back, Sarah, Luca, H.E., and Candy. Hahn asks, is there any chance H.E. is in Cambridge? Brothel phone says she's in Cambridge. Hahn asks, I'm curious, is H.E. available at 6:15 in Cambridge? Brothel phone says, for 1 hour, 6 p.m. available. Hahn replies, okay, I'll take it. Brothel phone says, 6 p.m., H.E., GFE, 1 hour, 3:40. Hahn says, yes. Continues on, confirm. Okay, so 5:30 p.m., 1 hour, GFE, 3:40, okay? 5:30 p.m., HE, GFE, 1 hour, 3:40, 90 Foster Street, Cambridge. Hahn says, yes, I will be there. Brothel phone says, thanks, let me know at the side door. Hahn says, okay. They ask how long. Hahn says, I'm here at the front side door. Inside, brothel phone says, room 109, enjoy. Hahn says, thank you. Thanks. Based on the above, coupled with my training and experience and familiarity with this investigation, I believe that Hahn agreed with another, that is, the user of the brothel phone, to engage in commercial sex with an unidentified female with the stage name of H.E. for 1 hour for the price of $340. Based on the above, I'm aware from the text messages that Hahn indicated that he was present at the brothel approximately 5:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pulled surveillance footage from this date and approximate time for the publicly accessible first floor of 90 Foster Street apartment building in Cambridge. I observed the male enter unit 109 at approximately 5:31 p.m. and exit room 109 at approximately 6:29 p.m., consistent with the amount of time that Hahn paid for commercial sex. I reviewed a copy of the photograph on file at the Mass R&D for Jason Hahn and compared it to the surveillance footage that I reviewed described above. The appearance of the person in the Hahn R&B photograph is consistent with that of a person in the surveillance footage at the brothel location. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that some of the abbreviations used in the above text message exchange between Hahn and the brothel phone are commonly used in the commercial sex trade. For example, GFE refers to girlfriend experience and provides a more intimate experience and blurs the boundaries between a financial transaction and a romantic relationship, typically including any and all sex acts, including up to vaginal or oral intercourse. I'm aware that the term donation is often referred to as a person paying a fee to engage in commercial sex. Based on the above text messages and surveillance video, I believe there's probable cause to believe that Hahn did agree to pay, or offer to pay another individual to engage in a commercial sex act. Hahn made such agreements on multiple dates between January 1st, 2022 and November 5th, 23, including but not limited to August 10th, 23. These agreements were with at least one of the operatives of the brothel phone and were agreements to engage in commercial sex with women advertised on the brothel website. That's the end of the report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So, Mr. Hahn is not going to be testifying at this time, so I would just like to present some oral argument on his behalf. So, based on the reading of the police report, it's fair to say that probable cause exists. I'm sure probable cause exists for all of the people who have been summoned in here to come in here today. And I can't with a straight face argue that probable cause doesn't exist, because it does. If you look at the facts, it's outlined in the police report. But what I can tell you is some information about Mr. Hahn and why I think that this court should make an exception for him in this particular circumstance. He sits before you today, he's a young man, 29 years old, has no criminal history whatsoever in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts or any other state. He was raised in Concord, Massachusetts, graduated from high school there in 2014, went on to the Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, where he obtained his Bachelor's of Science degree in radiology and his radiologic technologist license. He's currently employed at Brigham and Women's Hospital as an interventional radiology technologist. He's been there for almost 4 years. He works with an incredible team. He's CPR certified. He was nominated for the Lynn Johnson Award, which essentially in sum describes him as being calm under pressure, dedicated to teaching others, being prepared, and mentoring his peers. He is an exquisite employee there. He comes from a good family. His mother raised him as a single mom from the age of 14. His sister he basically took on the role as a father figure for her when his father left when he was 14 years old. In his personal time, and I've indicated in the submission, he volunteers his time at the Greater Boston Food Bank. He's put in at least 28 hours there since the beginning of this year. He was the chairman for the College Against Cancer Relay for Life for approximately 2 years, and he's given a ton back to this community. No substance abuse issues, no mental health issues, just an upstanding citizen. I want to talk about his relationship status, and I'm not trying to make this a justification or excuse for any behavior that's outlined in this report. But this is not a situation where he's married, he has kids, he's living in a home that potentially these types of behaviors would cause a divorce. He's not in a relationship, he's not living with a girlfriend, he didn't cheat on anybody. Like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuses, but if you read the statements of support, he's had nothing but normal relationships throughout his life. And unfortunately, he allegedly got wrapped up in this situation during these, I guess it was a period of 2022 and 2023 on several different occasions. But back to his job, his team performs emergent procedures on dying patients that come in to the hospital. He's saved hundreds of people's lives and comes in for overnight shifts. It's unbelievable what he does. I mean, patients come in, they're bleeding out from their arteries, and they're having active acute strokes from clots in their brain, and he steps up with this incredible team. And he's one of the youngest on the team, too. A lot of people are a lot older than him, and he gives a lot back to this community. Say this criminal complaint issue. Obviously, there's duty involved here. The impact that this could have on his job is detrimental. He could lose his job, he could lose his radiology license. We're going to lose an incredible member of the community in Boston. With the incredible hospitals that we have, he's certainly an attribute. My argument, in sum, is that maintaining this elite position and future contributions to saving lives outweighs this complaint issuing. In this particular circumstance, with this particular defendant, we deserve, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts deserves to keep this young healthcare hero employed. He was a frontline worker during COVID-19. We all remember what happened then. It was a scary time. It was unknown times. He was working 7 days a week doing chest x-rays on people that were in very serious conditions. He got COVID-19 3 times himself, but he stepped up every single day, not only for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but for this country. And I think that says a lot about who he is, where he's come from, and where he's going to go. His statements talk about his personality, his energy, his skills that he brings to the workplace. It's just absolutely incredible. He's influential and creates a positive work environment. For those reasons, I ask you to deny the application for criminal complaint, or alternatively, give him an opportunity to give more back to the community. Hold this open for a year, have him do 100 hours of community service, and assuming he remains out of trouble and he completes that community service, then deny the complaint at that time. It's something that he got caught up with. This hearing's been pending for 18 months. During that period of time, I understand that, but during that period of time, he's had no interaction whatsoever with law enforcement. And he's had time to reflect on this entire situation. And he tells me that it's made him appreciate more things in life. Certainly an eye-opening experience. Certainly the alleged behavior is morally wrong. And it's deteriorating to the city of Boston and to the city of Cambridge. And he is committed to never engaging in this type of behavior ever he's extremely remorseful and embarrassed, and asks you to make an exception in this case. And lastly, I truly believe, after getting to know Mr. Hahn and learning about him, and as I've outlined for the police department and you, Madam Clerk, that he's the type of person that is going to learn from this mistake, he's going to become better from this mistake, he's going to move forward in his life, and he's going to do incredible things for the city of Boston. And I ask you to make an exception and not issue the complaint against him, and let him do those things. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to say at this point? Thank you, counsel, for your very articulate and zealous advocacy for your client. I appreciate everything that you said. Show cause hearings are one of my greatest tools in my toolbox as a clerk. I love them. The discretion I'm afforded in these show cause hearings to help people avoid the criminal justice system are something that I'm honored and most proud of. However, if there is probable cause, which you have conceded that there is probable cause in the